Have you ever been forgotten by someone you still remember? The tiger in this story was, and chances are, so were you. Because no matter how strong we pretend to be, there's always a moment when someone walks away, and we're left in the silence they leave behind. This story began with Madra, a tiger whose name meant glory in ancient Persian. But there was no glory left. Once a spectacle under circus lights, he'd been dumped in a remote sanctuary after years of exploitation. No medical records, no history, just a scarred body and haunting stillness in his eyes. He didn't roar, didn't eat, didn't move. He simply waited. The staff thought he was dying, but they were wrong. He wasn't dying. He was remembering. The mind doesn't forget pain, it stores it. And Madra had seen things, the lash, the crowds, the cage too small for his bones. Most of all, he remembered the other tiger who once shared his space, and the day she was taken away. That's the tragedy, isn't it? Animals remember. So do we. We don't forget the people who left without goodbye, the childhood we never healed from, the days we felt like background noise in someone else's story. Nietzsche once wrote, "He who has a why to live can bear almost any how." But what if the why is gone? Weeks passed. They tried everything, food, warmth, toys. He refused all of it. And then, someone brought in something unexpected. Not another tiger, not a trainer, but a cat. A fat orange tabby named Rumi. No fear, no hesitation. He walked right up to the massive predator and lay down beside him. The staff panicked, but before they could intervene, something happened. Madra moved. For the first time in weeks, he shifted, not toward the food, not toward the humans, but toward the cat. He leaned his massive head into Rumi's fur and closed his eyes. It wasn't dramatic. There was no miraculous roar, no sudden transformation, just a quiet turning of the soul. Day by day, he began eating again. He walked, he stretched, he began to live, not for what he lost, but for what remained. Rumi didn't fix Madra's pain. He didn't replace what was lost. He simply sat with him, listened without words, and reminded him, "You are still seen." That was enough to bring him back. It's easy to dismiss this as a feel-good story, but what if it's a mirror? Because maybe you are Madra. You've stopped roaring, stopped trusting, started shrinking inside your own life. You pretend you're fine, but deep down, you're waiting for someone who's not coming back, for a dream that faded, for a version of yourself that no longer exists. Here's what psychology tells us. The human brain doesn't move on from pain by force. It heals through connection, through small acts of recognition. You don't need 1,000 people to understand you. You just need one who sees you without asking you to be anyone else. Madra didn't need to be fixed. He needed to be found, and in the most unlikely form, a chubby orange cat, he was. So if you're still carrying grief, still clinging to what used to be, ask yourself this: what if healing isn't forgetting? What if it's remembering, in the company of someone who stays? Have you ever been Madra? Or maybe you've been someone's Rumi? Share your story in the comments below. And if this touched you, subscribe for more stories where animals and hearts find their way home. Because sometimes, all it takes is one friend who truly sees you